Welcome to Group 9 Appraisal Presentation. Our group members are Olivia DeAndre, Kendall Dominic, Ben Hannigan, Elizabeth May, Will Palladino, and Connor Sosby. Our subject property is 2240 Virginia Street in Berkeley, California. Our market conditions is Berkeley is great for young professionals. It has been ranked the healthiest city in America and the healthiest place to live. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 74% of people who live in Berkeley are between ages 18 and 65. It is located in Alameda County in California. It is close to historical landmarks, including the Golden Gate Bridge, which is a 30-minute drive from Berkeley. In the housing market, the median value of owner-occupied homes from 2014 to 2018 was $938,000.
We began appraising with the sales comparison approach. This method compares a subject property to similar properties in the area. On this slide, you can see each property that a group member picked and evaluated for this project. We also have a map of the comparables. Each comparable is in the same neighborhood, so that was really nice for us to keep it consistent when we were evaluating properties.
In order to get an estimate for our subject property using the sales comparison approach, we compared it to each of the 6 comparables, adjusting for differences in the categories shown on our comparison grid. For each adjustment, we subtracted the feature of the comparable property from the feature of the subject property, and then multiplied the difference by the mathematical figure that we found for each adjustment. For example, for square footage, we took the square feet of the subject property, which was 2,169, then subtracted the square footage of each comparable. Once we had the difference for each comparable, we multiplied it by the average price per square foot of all 7 properties, which was $823.89. For bedrooms, again we found the difference between the subject and comparable, and we multiplied that by the average value of an additional bedroom in a home in Berkeley, California, which we found was $30,000. Once we found the adjustment for each of the comparables, we were able to calculate the adjusted sales price of each comparable. From there, we decided how much to weigh each property based on their similarities to the subject property. We then found the final estimate for the subject property by multiplying the adjusted sales price for each comparable by their weights and then adding them together to get $1,607,730.10.
Hello, I'm Will Palladino, and I want to talk about how we found the value of our house using the cost approach. When calculating the value given by the cost approach, you're calculating how much it would cost to buy your exact piece of land and build another replica of your house today. The cost approach is found by finding the estimated replication cost of the subject property and subtracting the accrued depreciation and adding the estimated cost of the land. To determine the estimated replication cost, we use costtobuild.net. It is a site that allows you to go in and put exact specifications of your house and where it is located, and then provides a detailed spreadsheet on how much you would pay for each different thing that goes into reproducing your house. The total replication cost, which includes all materials and labor, came out to be $648,340,000. Our house recently went through a complete renovation, so that is the reason for 85 years of useful life in the calculation for depreciation. To find the cost of the land, we went through acgov.org, which is a property assessment information website. We put in our subject's property address, and it populates the cost of the land from its database, which came out to be $142,987,000. Using all these numbers, the value of our house through the cost method was estimated to be $798,945.53.
So here's our income approach for our property in Berkeley, California. And this is the direct capitalization method. And first you start out with your potential gross income for the year, and then you take out your vacancy and collection loss and your miscellaneous income, which we didn't have any, and you arrive at your effective gross income. And then after that, you back out your operating expenses and your CapEx, which for us we didn't have any CapEx just because our house was recently remodeled. And then finally, you come to your NOI or your net operating income. And so to get to the price estimate, you divide your NOI by your county-specific cap rate, which ours was 4.69%. And our price estimate for the direct capitalization method was right above $1.2 million. Next is our DCF model, and we modeled it out for 10 years. And we took the present values of the sum, or after year 10 of the sum, and this came right under 1.2 million. And we thought our income approach was pretty accurate, just because the difference between the DCF and the capitalization model or method was only $13,500. So we thought our income approach was pretty accurate.
Hi, my name is Olivia DeAndrea, and I will be discussing the impact COVID-19 has on our subject property and on the global economy. COVID-19 is a global pandemic that has over 1 million confirmed cases around the world and has taken the lives of over 72,000 people. Deaths and confirmed cases are increasing at exponential rates in many countries. COVID-19 has presented and continues to present many challenges to global leaders and people alike. The virus has instilled global panic and fears of an impending global economic shutdown. This caused the 2020 stock market crash beginning the week of February 24th. The challenge we are facing is the lack of personal protective equipment for healthcare workers. The second challenge is adjusting to a new normal as schools move to an online format and many people are forced to work from home and telecommute. Also, for current college students, many internships for summer 2020 have either been canceled or are now virtual. The unknown is the largest challenge the world is faced with right now. No one knows how long the outbreak will last, when it will peak in the United States, or when a treatment or vaccine will be made available. Great Recession. It was a worldwide economic crisis that began due to the subprime mortgage bubble. The housing bubble did not appear overnight, and it was created through lack of regulation and government corruption. This is different than the COVID-19 crisis we are currently faced with, which has affected the entire economy simultaneously. Stores and businesses have been forced to close as states have ordered shelter-in-place mandates that force the closure of non-essential businesses. Berkeley, California is the location of our subject property. After completing a location quotient analysis as seen in Figure 2, with data collected from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics on the Oakland-Hayward-Berkeley Metropolitan Division, it was found that the economic base in the region is life, physical, and social science occupation, as depicted in Figure 2 below. The occupational groups highlighted in yellow are the groups who have location quotients greater than 1. These industries have a higher concentration of employment in the region compared to the national average. The life, physical, and social occupational group contains a large variety of jobs, where workers are often highly skilled, researchers, or scientists. Jobs in this occupational group are biochemists, medical scientists, microbiologists, psychologists, sociologists, and chemists, just to name a few. Due to COVID-19, scientists and researchers in biochemistry, chemistry, and biology are needed to find vaccines and treatments, keeping these workers employed. But if research funding is cut due to large stimulus packages, or if research is paused as labs are closed due to to reduce the spread of COVID-19, many jobs in the area could be in jeopardy. An industry that has been greatly impacted due to COVID-19 is the personal care and services industry. California currently has a statewide shelter-in-place order that has forced hairdressers, nail salons, and casinos to temporarily close for an indefinite period of time. In this industry, workers often live off compensation, and when they are closed, they have $0 in revenue. These businesses could apply for loans through the Paycheck Protection Program to help pay their employees and rent. California has placed a temporary ban on evictions to help both small business owners as well as individuals. These are fixes that could help keep businesses open in the short term, but as these businesses try to make up for lost revenue in the long term, they will be forced to close. COVID-19 will have a lasting impact on the Berkeley community and the buying power of individuals in the region. Due to the current shelter-in-place enacted in California, businesses, both essential and non-essential, are seeing massive losses in revenue and will not be able to pay rent. Once the eviction ban is lifted, businesses will be evicted from their buildings as they will not have money to pay back rent. Also, the cost of living is greater in California than the average cost of living in the United States. The rebates that the government will be giving to individuals are a fixed amount across the entire United States and therefore will not be able to sustain an individual in California. The appraisal subject on Virginia Street in Berkeley, California was sold on March 25th for $2.2 million. According to Realtor.com, the average time to close on a house is 50 days. This means that for our subject property, the initial offer was placed before the United States began to feel the impact of COVID-19 on the economy and in the Berkeley community. Another key factor in the sale of this property is that mortgage rates are at a 30-year low, with the average 30-year fixed rate loan set at 3.29%. This means that buyers are more apt to pay more for their new home as their monthly payments will be lower with lower interest rates. If this house had been sold after March 2020, it would have sold for a much lower price, as interest in the real estate market has decreased greatly in the final 2 weeks of March, as many homes for sale on the current market are seeing price reductions and in some cases are being taken completely off the market, even with record low mortgage rates. The subject property on Virginia Street was sold at an optimal time for the sellers, but may have been a risky investment for the buyers.
So we just wanted to wrap up our presentation by stating our final appraisal of $1,465,801.03. Our house was actually sold during the middle of our appraisal for $2,287,500. We think the main difference for this is most likely due to the fact that our subject property was just completely renovated in 2019. The house is essentially brand new, and although comparable properties are very similar in positive and negative ways, the subject house is more valuable because of its recent modern renovations. This is because houses depreciate according to their effective age, and some comparable properties had effective ages of over 50 years. Our subject property had an effective age of 1 due to the renovation, so some of our comparables cannot be considered to be as valuable as the subject property because they've accrued more depreciation. Overall, we still found the sales approach to be the most effective approach, which we expected. And as far as the coronavirus goes, the economic impact of it is still somewhat uncertain. Thank you.